Hello, welcome to this virtual tour to ESO observatories. Today we have La Silla virtual tour in Chile. My name is Hernan Julio. I'm a journalist specialized in astronomy, and I welcome you. And I want to introduce you also to my friend and producer Farid Char, who is also involved in astronomy. Hello, Farid. How are you?
Hello, Hernan. How are you? Nice to meet you today. Yeah, I will be the producer for today's virtual tour to La Silla Observatory. From my side, I have been working as a tourist guide for Paranal Observatory for more than 10 years. I have also a lot of experience in astronomy outreach and education, so I will be basically paying attention to your questions or comments, and we are going to respond to all your questions in different parts of this virtual experience. So please go ahead, Hernan, and we are going to start very soon with this virtual tour.
All right. Thank you very much, Farid. We will start right away because we have only just 1 hour. So we want to introduce, first of all, to ESO, the European Southern Observatories. The European Southern Observatory is an international astronomical organization and is composed for 16 countries. Okay, many of them are in Europe. You can see right now the map in the screen, and you can see the ESO member state. Okay, we have 16 members, and we also have Australia, which is a strategic partner, okay, and of course Chile, where the telescope are located. Okay, this organization started with only 5 countries in 1962 in Europe, and later on until today, many other countries has, as you see, has joined the organization, and today. They are in Chile. They have this organization. The main purpose is to design, to build, and to maintain telescope in Chile, one of the most advanced telescope around the world. In the next screen, if it is possible, we will see the observatories which are in Chile. There you see the skinny long country in the center of the slide, which is Chile. Okay, to this in the center, a little is the country. In the bottom part, in blue, in dark blue, you can see which we call the Coquimbo region, which is a little north from Santiago, about 500 kilometers from Santiago. You can find La Silla Observatory, where we have the 3.6-meter telescope and the NTT. This La Silla Observatory is a classical telescope and is the first observatory, ESO observatory in Chile. It was inaugurated in 1969. So it's a classical telescope, and today we are going to visit virtually this observatory, La Silla Observatory, which is about, as I said, 500 kilometers north from Santiago, which is la capital of Chile. If you take a flight, you will be in La Serena, which is the biggest town near La Silla, at about 45 minutes. And then you can take a car from La Serena and visit La Silla. Every Saturday we have open doors for visitors, and it's only 1.5 hour driving north from La Serena in a very new highway. So we encourage you, if you come to Chile, to visit us and come to La Silla every Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning, and Sundays also 10 o'clock in the morning. So you are welcome to visit us. But besides La Silla, in Chile, we also have other telescopes. ESO has other observational facilities. In the northern part of the country, in what we call Antofagasta region, which is in the heart of the Atacama Desert, we have the VLT and the VLTI. You can see Paranal Observatory to your left is Paranal Observatory. Paranal Observatory is one of the most advanced telescopes in the world, and also there you have the VST and VISTA telescope, and the next biggest telescope on Earth, the ELT, the extremely large telescope. We also have visits for Paranal every Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning. So you also can visit us. Antofagasta is a little far away north from Santiago. You will have to fly around 2 hours from Santiago to Antofagasta, which is the nearest city from Paraná, and then you will have to drive one and a half hour south from Antofagasta to visit us. Remember, every Saturday in the morning at 10 o'clock in the morning and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we are able to receive visitors every Saturday, free visitors. So you are also welcome to visit us every Saturday. And in the bottom part of the left part of the slide, you have the CTA Sur or South. It's a next project with about 100 telescopes, which are very special because we are able to detect gamma rays. And that's is the next project who will be operated by ESO. And at your right, you can see the Chagnan Tor, Plateau, where ALMA is located. ALMA is the Atacama Large Millimetric Array, one of the biggest radio telescope in the world and the most high radio telescopes in the world. These ALMA antennas are about 5,050 meters above the sea level, really in what we call the Chilean altiplanic. And in the same place, you will be able to find Apex, which is one antenna, because ALMA is 66 antenna. It's a very big radio telescope. And beside that, also in the same place, very near to ALMA, is Apex. ALMA, anyways, is not 100% ESO. It's a consortium of different countries where ESO is 30%. It's part of ESO's 30% of the ALMA project. So this is what ESO, the European Sun observatories that operate in Chile, and also the one who are building, which are building in Chile. But now we want to go right away to La Silla, because today we will visit just La Silla Observatory, and which is, as I told you, the first observatory, ESO observatory in Chile. Anyways, first of all, we will fly from Europe. You will see in the screen, in the video, how the European countries which are part of ESO most of them are in Europe, and we will fly over the Atlantics going to South America. The organization, as I told you, started in 1962, arrives in Chile in 1963. That's why we already have more than 60 years in Chile, and the organization has been very successful in designing, in building, and maintaining the most advanced telescope in the world in this part of the world. First, all the organization was looking places in South Africa, also in Australia, but finally they found out that one of the most best places for astronomy, for professional astronomy, high quality astronomy, is in Chile. Why? Because we have the Atacama desert, which is the most dry desert in the world. And here we are right in the Atacama Desert, in the southern part of the Atacama Desert, where La Silla Observatory is. Here we're looking to La Silla Observatory. It's at 2,400 meters above the sea, and you can see that it's 100% desert. Now we are going to walk around La Silla. We will visit La Silla in this virtual tour. First of all, I want to give you a panoramic view of La Silla. This is a sunset view of La Silla. You can see we have about 14 domes. Most of them now are robotics telescopes. And here we're looking to the west. You can see the sunset. And by the way, from this same place, we observe the the eclipse, the July 2nd, 2019. We have 1,000 people in this place in La Silla Observatory. It was the first time that we have so many people, never 1,000 people in the observatory. And we were delighted by the eclipse in 2019, the total solar eclipse of 2019 here in Chile. Here now we're looking to the mountains, to the Andes Mountains. Behind those mountains is the Argentina country, and those mountains are about 6,000 meters above the sea. As I told you, La Silla is only at 2,000 at 400 meters of the sea in the Andes Mountains. And of course, we are going to visit, we're going inside of two main telescopes, the 3.6 and the NTT, the New Technology Telescope. If you are asking the telescope, we'll go chronological inside of the more classical telescope, which is the 3.6 meter telescope. Here we go. All right, we are inside of the telescope. I don't know, before to start our talk about the telescope from the inside, I don't know if we have any question or comment. Farid, bueno, we have a comment in Spanish. Vicent Lopez, muy buenos días desde Luxemburgo.
Yes, Hernan, we have for some visitors right now. Yeah, we have some people watching in Spanish from Luxembourg, and we have probably people from many countries because I can see some foreign names. And we have just one question. Just arrived a question from Lakhdar Mokhtari. He says, can astronomers volunteer to work at this observatory?
Well, I don't think so. Well, first we have to make a distinction between the astronomer. We have what we call the staff astronomer, which are part of the organization, part of ESO. They work in Chile. They run the observation, run most of the observation, which is called the the observation at night. But also we have the visitor astronomer, which come to Chile to run observations too. Well, the staff astronomers, they have to be hired. They are hired for the organization, and of course, you have to apply as any other worker. And the visitors, they are not part of the organization, but they are part of any institution, astronomical institution around the world, and they apply to telescope time. Nobody pay any. This astronomer, visitor astronomer, they don't pay anything to use the telescope, but they have to apply and compete between all astronomers around the world. So sort of you can say that you volunteer, because they will, if you are an astronomer, for example, from, I don't know, France, and you need to use the telescope that we're looking at now, the 3.6, the astronomer will have to apply with 1 month, with 1 year in advance to apply for telescope time. And if the project is good enough, he will get the time and will be free for him. If you want to call that volunteer, but not actually, as the astronomers say, oh, I want to work there and for free. I don't think it will be possible, because will be required many knowledge from the astronomers. So I don't know if we have another question. No, we will.
No, we have just Vasil Ravokuma just say thank you for this virtual experience. Well, as you can see, we have a lot of positive comments there from people from probably many countries. You can also, of course, you can say your country if you want. You can say what is your city, your country, so we can show this here just to share with all of you where our virtual visitors are coming from. So I think we can go ahead and run, and we can maybe look for more
Continue.
questions later.
All right. Well, we are inside of the 3.6. This is a classical telescope. You can see the how big is the telescope, how big is the dome. Right now, I mean, in the picture, in this 360 degrees picture, you can see how huge is this dome. It's a dome from the 70s. Okay. We will go around so you will be able to have the chance to take a nice look to it. We're talking a dome that is about 350 tons. And the telescope itself is the light blue part, and the dark blue part is the is a equatorial mount. Okay, let's say how this telescope works. Well, first of all, you can see also how big it is because we have a person, an engineer, right here. It's about, let's say, 1.8 meter in highest and tall, and you can see the telescope how gross is it, how big it is. Okay, so this is the way that in those days they used to build this telescope. Later on, we're going to have the chance to go to the NTT, the New Technology Telescope, to compare how the classical telescope are in comparison with the New Technology Telescope. Well, how this telescope work? Well, first of all, in the night, we have to open an opening part or window, which is there that you can see. This is a special picture because in the day we do not open the dome. They did it for the picture, I guess. And then in the night, we open the dome. The light will go inside of the dome, and the telescope will be pointing to the star or to the object, galaxy, quasar, whatever, and the light of the object, celestial object, will go down straight to the main mirror, which is right here. This is the main mirror, okay? And the main mirror, in this case, is 300.6 meter in diameter, okay? These mirrors are like a donut. They have a hole in the center, small hole in the center in comparison with the diameter. And they are they are curved, okay? And they have a skin, let's say, very very thin skin of aluminum. In that way, the light will go inside of the telescope. The dome will go to the main mirror, which is here, okay, and from here will be reflected to the secondary mirror, which is inside of this tube over there. And here we have a look at your right. You have a picture. Look at from the up part of the telescope, and so from the secondary mirror, which is inside of the tube, the light will be reflected back down, will go through this hole, which right now is closed, okay? It's the diaphragm, and this is open in the night. It will go to the main mirror, and from the main mirror will go through the hole in the center right here, and the light will go to this part, this cage that you can see here, inside of this cage. Okay, what is inside of the cage? Well, used to be the instrument. The instrument is it's in a camera. It's a camera. It's a photographic camera, and also could be an interferometer, a spectrograph. The idea is that the light go to the camera and we can make the image, or we could do the spectrum of the light. That means that we can analyze light. Today, this telescope, which is a classical telescope, as I told you, we're using just one type of camera, which is we call instrument, which is HARP. HARP is the high resolution spectrum, which detect planets around other stars. Okay, I say detect because it's not that we are looking to the planets, but we are detecting. How's that? So it's because maybe, yeah, there we have the video. It will be easy to explain this with that. We have this computer video where we see the planet going around a star. Okay, when a planet is going around a star, the planet, because gravity will pull the star. That will produce what we call, if we can repeat the video, thank you, that will produce a movement of the light, to the blue or to the red. Okay, when as you see the spectrum, the colors that you look in the bottom part of the video will look blue, that is moving from the blue to the red, blue to the red. That means that the star that we are looking at that has this planet is going far or close to us. So we cannot see the planet because the light of the star is too bright and doesn't let us see the planet itself. So what we see is how this star moves far away from us or close to us. When we do that, we can say, oh, we have detected a planet. And that is the planet, and we can say we have found an exoplanet or extrasolar planet, planets that are going around other stars beside our own sun. So that's the way that this spectrograph that we are using, HARP, in the 3.6 is detecting planet and has detected many planets around in the last years. And especially it's good to mention that the first extrasolar planet was found by Michel Mayor, which is the one astronomer from Europe, who was using a telescope and was the first planet ever found, extrasolar planet ever found, in 1995. From that time to today, which is 30 years after that, we have found, or we have detected, more than 5,000 planets around other stars. So La Silla has become one of the observatory which is specialized in hunting extrasolar planets. So this is to say about the telescope. I don't know if there is another question or if we should. Another thing we should say is that this mount, the blue mount, is a cultural mount, it's a classical mount also. Okay, and it's good that you take a good look at it, because we are going to go to a new telescope, the new technology telescope, which is very different from this. So you can see the difference, how we used to build telescopes in the 70s and how we build telescope in the 21st century. Any
Hernan?
questions? Any comment?
Yes, Hernan. We have one more question. This is from Nopter from Germany, from Munich. This person is asking, is there a possibility to look at the images taken from this telescope or other European telescopes in real time online?
Sorry, but not. But anyways, you can go to our ESO webpage, ESO.org, and you will find all this material, much more than what we are showing now. We have thousands of videos and thousands of images of the telescope, information, everything about astronomy. I encourage you to go to our webpage and you will see all this material. But in real time, we don't have, because actually remember that we're looking, and what we actually, the astronomer do is capturing scientific data. This scientific data have to go to an archive first, and then this scientific data have to be processed by computers. So what the astronomers do not do today is to look through their own eyes an object. As I told you before, we have this instrument, and the instrument do the job. The instrument will do, most of them are a spectrograph who is capturing scientific data from the celestial object. So anyways, you can do direct observing, or you could connect a telescope to a computer and to internet even, but when they are small telescope, and when you're watching, for example, big nearby galaxies or planets. So that's it. But the our web page is amazing, of full of information, data, videos, and of course images. I encourage to go over there, anyways.
Okay, thank you very much, Hernan, and thank you to Nubder for your question. And we have one additional question, maybe last one before continue. This is another question from Lakdar Mukhtari. He's asking, can these telescopes detect very faint targets like a black holes?
Well, yes. The short answer is yes, especially if you use the word detect, yeah, not to see, detect. Um, First of all, that I have to say about this telescope, especially the 3.6 telescope, is a classical telescope, which was one of the first telescope in the world to detect quasar, which are very far away object. Remember that most of this telescope can see almost the whole visible universe. I have to remember you also that the universe in the first 1 billion years was black. That means that didn't have light, so we cannot detect any light from the first billion year of the universe. We can do only with those first galaxies and first um, stars. So yes, we can detect very far, very fine and far away object. Black holes, no, because the black hole do not uh, irradiate any light. That's why they call black. But you can detect, or you can see, or you can take a picture, or you can easily see the center of the galaxy where there is a black hole, and you can see the jets that are going away from the black hole. So that's what you can see. To see really black hole, we already have the first picture of a black hole, but that was done with the ALMA observatory, plus other radio observatories around the world. Okay, I think that we need to continue.
Yes, Hernan, we're going to continue, and later we can keep going with the new questions. Okay, so thank you very much,
All
and
right.
please let's go.
Well, we'll go outside again because we want to visit what I promise you, the NTT, or the New Technology Telescope. Let me see if I think again. I have to get inside. That's the two. Well, let's go.
You can choose any of them. It's just
Okay,
one different side of.
there we go. Here we are. This is the NTT, the New Technology Telescope, and you will find out that this telescope is totally different from the classical 3.6. Okay, first of all, this is it has not a dome, classical dome, white classical dome. It's more like I don't know, a ship maybe, a square ship, and much more different. The first difference is that the whole building rotates in 360 degrees. In the case of the 3.6, we have to rotate the dome, and then we rotate also at the same time the telescope. In this case, we rotate in the NTT where we are right now, and we have to rotate the whole building, and we don't need to rotate the telescope because the telescope rotates together with the building. Okay. Also, we sort of have the whole roof is open, the whole roof and part of the wall, the behind wall over there, the wall behind of the telescope is a sliding door. So we open that, okay, all the way, and that way we let the lights to go in. How it works? Well, very similar to the 3.6. That means that we have, first of all, a mirror. The mirror is right here. You can see it now. It's not protected. You can see it directly. This is the mirror. The mirror is, in this case, is 3.58 meter in diameter, and also has an aluminum layer. The aluminum layer is very important because in this case, is the aluminum is one who reflect the light. Okay, this aluminum layer is thinner than a human hair, and the aluminum layer have to be changed every 2 years. So we take this mirror from here. Okay, we take out the mirror with this white cell. That's why we have this train sort of place for to take. We take out the mirror from here. Okay, we can move the mirror, and the a very special apparatus will come here, and we'll take the mirror, and we'll take the mirror to the 3.6. In the base of the 3.6 telescope, we have what we call the reallumination area. Over there, we take the mirrors, the mirror from the 3.6, the mirror from the entity, and we take out the old aluminum, and we put a new aluminum layer. That's made because we take out the old aluminum, and we put the mirror inside of the vacuum. And inside of the vacuum, we put a new aluminum layer, and then we take the mirror back to its original position, which is here, and can keep working. The telescope can keep working. We do that every 2 years, around 2 years, and it's one of the most dangerous operations because we don't want to break the telescope, the mirror. So that's just what is special about the technology. This is the first new technology, because the 3.6 mirror is not with this technology. This technology, the material of what is made the telescope is called Cerodur. Okay, Cerodur is a low expansion ceramic, which allowed us to build bigger telescope than 4 meters. And before the Cerodur, before we have this technology, we couldn't build bigger telescope than 4 meters. Now we are building 8-meter telescope, and thanks to these mirrors, this technology, we were able to build the 8.2 mirror telescopes in Paraná. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that the mirror itself is very thin. Okay, only 28 centimeters width, and that means that the mirror is flexible. That means that when we're looking at it in the night, the mirror is we have to move the mirror because we are pointing the telescope in different directions, and the surface of the mirror. Remember that I told you that the surface of the mirror is curved. Will change a little bit, and we have to correct that. How we do that? With actuators. Actuators are underneath the mirror, and this actuator push up the mirror and keep the mirror in the surface of the mirror always perfect. Okay, it's a nanomillimeters. You won't be able to detect that with your own eye, but the computers does. So that's called active optic. All right. So that's also the new technology that we are applying in this telescope. Another thing is that the light, the way of the light is that the light. We open the telescope, as you see, the dome. The light will go inside to the main mirror right here. Will be reflected from here to the secondary mirror up there, and from the secondary mirror, the light will go back. But we don't have any instrument underneath the mirror. The instruments are at the side of the mirror. Actually, one of the mirror is in the back part of this. Through this door, you will go to where one of the instrument is, and the second one is in the other side. This is the door where it takes you to the other mirror. What I'm saying now then is that we have 2 instruments, one to the right and one to the left. So the light will go from the first mirror to the secondary mirror, and from the secondary mirror to a third mirror, which is in the middle here. We cannot see it, okay, but it's around here, and it's a flat mirror, in 45 degrees. So the light, when the lights come down from the secondary mirror, from here, the light will go to the right or to the left. Okay. What we have in the right room or the left room, we have the instrument. The instrument, remember, I told you, are cameras. This camera will take the light and we analyze the light. Okay, can make pictures also or image as you wish, but most of them today, modern instrument, modern cameras, they do so our spectrograph. They do a spectrum of the light. That means that they detect what kind of elements are in the star that is sending that light. Helium, uh, aluminium, whatever, any basic element. And from that information, the astronomer will be able to know what kind of a star it is. For example, if the star that we're looking at is an old star, will be reddish or red, more reddish star, and you will be detecting more heavy elements. Okay, but if it is a new star, just born star, you will be able to find out in this spectrum more hydrogen, helium, more gas elements. So that is basically what the astronomers do, and I think this is a good moment to see how the astronomer work at the computer room, because the astronomer do not work in the telescope today. The astronomers are far away from here, and they work here in this control room. You can see La Silla control room. To your right is the 3.6 telescope control room. At your left is the new technology telescope control room. As you see, they're working. Well, first of all, they're working all in the night, of course, and the windows are closed. Are no light can go outside of the rooms. Well, the whole observatory is a light polluted, well protected. That means that all windows, doors are closed. No light can go outside, as you see in the back part of the video, where are the window, they are with the blackout, so no light go out. Also, in a control room, as you are at the right and your left, you can see there is 2 or 3 people. Well, in the case of the entity to your left, the 2 person with colored shirt are the astronomers, and the one with the dark shirt is the telescope instrument operator. To operate the telescope, you need 2 persons. One is the telescope instrument operator, which is really the pilot of the telescope. He's the one who flies the telescope to anywhere in the universe. The astronomers are there to make sure that the information that they are getting is the information, the scientific data that they need. Same thing to your right, where you have the person to the right, the most right is the telescope instrument operator, the pilot who fly the telescope, and then you have the astronomer. That's the way. A very busy night, as you can see. They work from 1 hour after the sunset to 1 hour before the sunrise. Okay, so will depend how long will be the night, depend of if summer or winter, the time of the year that you are at. Well, I think that we have visited the most important telescope. We still having some minute left. I don't know if there is some more question or comment.
Yes, Hernan, we have a few more questions. For example, here we have a little bit technical question from Nutter. He's asking if is there a minimum velocity under that the wavelength shift is not possible to detect anymore? Something like a planetary orbit will not produce high velocities. this frequency shift. He's talking about the exoplanet method, this radial velocity method. I can give you
Please,
some input about this.
please.
Well, regarding this particular ability to detect the shift, okay. Well, yeah, essentially the short answer is that yes, you have a minimum velocity to, I mean, to detect an exoplanet using this method. But this depends entirely on your instrument. I mean, on the position of your spectrograph. So, for example, when the star is doing this back and forth, is basically a very small Doppler shift in the spectral lines, just as we saw, as we showed before in this short animation. So in this case, uh, the the actual minimum will depend on the on the spectrograph, and in the case of La Silla, for harps, for the harps instrument, this precision is about 1 meter per second. So basically, if your star is moving at a minimum of 1 meter per second, yeah, you can detect this little Doppler shift, and you can basically know that there is an exoplanet there. Now, in other instruments, this precision could be different. So right now there are even more uh, sensitive detectors. So basically, regarding the HARPS instrument, um, is 1 meter per second, and this is of course very accurate, very precise. But yes, so this is the answer to that question. Um, well, now there is another question from the same person. He's asking, the mirrors seems to be very exposed to the environment while operating. So how do you clean them when particles stick to it? It must be near a magical science,
Mhm.
or how to do it?
Well, the mirror are first, as I told before, we have to re-illuminize the mirror every 2 years. We take the whole aluminum layer out and we put a new aluminum layer. And the second thing is that we clean the mirror. We wash the mirror with CO2, the carbonic snow. That means that we tilt the mirror and we wash the mirror without touching the mirror. And this snow, carbonic snow, will go down. We'll wash the mirror very softly, so we don't touch the mirror, and the mirror doesn't suffer any damage. So that's the way that we do. The washing the mirror is about every 2 weeks or something like that. And as I told before, the whole reilluminizing process is every 2 years.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Hernan. We are going to continue.
All right.
So if we have some time later, we can try to answer some additional questions. Thank you.
Well, now, as I told you before, we have visitors every Saturday and Sunday in La Silla, and if you where you can find, you can go to our webpage, and then you go to how to visit the observatory, and you will find the links to book yourself for the visitor if you are coming to Chile. But all the visitors have to leave at 5 o'clock p.m. So the visitor cannot stay at night. That's what I'm trying to say. But thanks to technology, we can show you the virtual sky that we have at La Silla at night. This is amazing, as you can see. It's a great sky and really an amazing. Maybe you cannot stay at La Silla, but you can stay near La Silla in the desert and you will have the same sky. So I encourage you to come to Chile to enjoy this great and very beautiful sky. Let me show some constellation. For example, here we're looking at the Orion constellation. Okay, maybe you can do this part, Farid, which is you are an expert on the sky.
Excuse me, Anna, can you repeat, please?
Maybe you can do this. You want to do this? Explain a little bit
Yeah,
the
sure. Well, regarding this constellation that is very popular from both hemispheres, north and south, we can say that Orion is a hunter in the mythology, and you can see those three stars somewhat aligned in the center. Those stars represent Orion's belt, and well, in Chile and maybe other South American countries, you can recognize them by the name Tres Marias or Three Marys. So they are very popular in the sky for uh, let's say northern and southern observers. And next to those stars, you can also see a very bright nebula. It's called the Orion's Nebula. It's a very interesting object because it's very bright. So you can even look at this nebula with your naked eye. So even in a small telescope, you can see that nebula very well. And of course, if you try to look at this nebula from a big observatory, it looks impressive. So this is what happens there. Um, Next to Orion, a little bit up, there is another interesting object. Is the brightest star in the sky. That star is called Sirius. Sirius in the mythology. Let's say the constellation that Sirius belongs to is one of the hunting dogs of Orion. So there is a constellation called Canis Major. Sirius belongs to Canis Major. So this is one of the two hunting dogs of Orion. Sirius is very easy to recognize as well, of course, because it's the brightest star. And as you can see, is well, basically that constellation is connected in the mythology to Orion. So it's a nice way to remember that. Okay. Now, you can also take a look at this kind of very bright path of light. This is basically one of the arms of the Milky Way, our galaxy. Our galaxy has between 100 or 400 billion stars, so it's a huge, huge galaxy. And to the right, there is two spots. This is the Magellanic Clouds. They are not clouds, they are galaxies. They are irregular galaxies, and they are visible only from the southern hemisphere. So that's very interesting because we have in Chile many international visitors, amateur astronomers, that are coming to Chile specifically to see some objects that are visible only from this hemisphere. So, for example, the Magellanic Clouds are one of them. So, up we have the large Magellanic Cloud, and down we have the small Magellanic Cloud. So they are very, very impressive when you have a dark sky like this one. And very near of the Magellanic Clouds, you have the smallest constellation in the sky. You have the Southern Cross. Southern Cross is a little bit up, is next to this dark cloud, this dark nebula. So the Southern Cross is the smallest constellation in the sky, and it looks like a cross, you see. So this constellation looks a little bit tilted, but it's very easy to recognize. It's visible from only from the southern hemisphere as well, and it's very interesting because you can even use that constellation to find the South Celestial Pole. So this is basically a projection of the South geographic pole in the sky. And in order to do that, you have to project the longer stick of the Southern Cross. So it's that one. Hernan is showing you. This is the longer stick. And you have to project that about 4 times and a half. So if you do that, you are more or less reaching the south celestial pole. And another way to find the south celestial pole actually is to try to find well, this will be one of the vortex of triangle if you try to make a triangle with the Magellanic Clouds. So you have actually two ways to find the south celestial pole. You can try to make a triangle with the Magellanic Clouds, or you can try to project the longer stick of the Southern Cross about 4 times and a half. And basically, if you look at that point in the sky for a few minutes, you will see that the stars appear to revolve around that point. And the last thing you can see in this beautiful picture, just next to the 3.6-meter telescope, is the center of the Milky Way, our galaxy. So as you can see there, is a beautiful area of the sky. It's a wide area, very bright, with dark clouds, with much more dense concentration of stars. So basically, the center of the Milky Way has a lot of interesting objects, such as nebula, open clusters, and other nice objects to observe through a telescope, even a small one. And one of the more uh, uh, well-known stars there is the brightest star of Scorpius. Scorpius is a constellation located next to the center of the Milky Way. Antares is the name of that star. Is just there, and well, basically for your information, the center of the Milky Way appear um, almost, let's say, all night in the sky during winter months in the southern hemisphere. So, for example, May, June, July are very good months to try to observe the Milky Way, the center of the Milky Way, from Chile. So this is more or less what we are looking at this beautiful night sky from La Silla. Okay, Nan, I let you.
All right, thank you very much. We are going out of time. I think I know that the picture is very nice, but we have to finish, and we invite you to take a walk with us in the under the stars of La Silla stars. You will see that we have this beautiful sky with this telescope. Most of these telescopes now are robotics. That means that they are controlled by institutions all around the world and remote control. And also, we can see some light pollution already in Chile. We have a very strong pollution law. That means that we light pollution law, that we are avoiding to contaminate, to pollute our sky, this beautiful sky. But you can see already with this picture that there is some light pollution, which is getting worse. And we're fighting against a project, a big project, a commercial project that is being built near to Paranal. Okay, where if they build this project, they will ruin all this sky, and we need all your support for to avoid continue contaminating this sky. This sky are not only Chilean skies, are humanity skies. It's a sky that is owned by all the world, all the countries in the world, and we want to protect it for future generations, and for to keep enjoying that they keep enjoying this gorgeous sky in Chile. You can come. The astronomer can do this research, the very important research about the universe. So we are working very hard in to keep this sky dark. So if you come to Chile, we encourage do not contaminate our sky, and also help us from wherever you are to keep these skies like they are for for the whole human race. Well, here we are finished now with our friend taking a coffee, looking to the stars, this gorgeous sky, and invite you to join us to the next virtual tour, which are going to be at the same time next Saturday, uh, and it will be for Paranal. We have the same virtual tour in Spanish and English every Saturday at 11 a.m. Chilean time, in Spanish and in English, and also La Silla and Paranal virtual tours. So we hope to have you next weekend with us too. Anyways, you can still visit our webpage. As I told you before, you can book, if you are coming to Chile, book your visit every Saturday and Sunday in La Silla Observatory, and in Sundays, every Saturday, excuse me, in Paranal at 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. So we want to encourage you to come to visit that if you come to Chile, and also to visit our webpage and keep following us in our social media. I want to thanks. I don't know if there is, we have time, I think, for the last question before we go, or a comment. And also, if you want to add anything. Well, it's already time to go. So I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, we are almost running out of time. Well, maybe I can just answer very quickly something that Lakshar Mukdari is asking, which is more powerful, a radio or optical telescope? And
Hmm.
basically, I can just say very quickly that they are not a competition; they are more complementing each other because it's different science. Radio is one part of the electromagnetic spectrum, and optical light is another portion. So um, it's better to talk about different kinds of science, but both are, of course, very important for the advancement of science. Okay,
Yes.
and well, of course, I want to say goodbye to everyone. Thank you very much for staying with us and doing this virtual tour. And yeah, you can stay looking at the ESO social networks because we have virtual tours every Saturday, Paranal or La Silla, English or Spanish. So from my side, thank you very much, and I hope to see you again next time.
All right. Thank you very much, Farid. Thank you to all our audience from all around the world. Thank you very much, and keep in touch with that through the social media. And hope to see you again next Saturday. Bye bye. Thank you very much. Thank
Okay,
you.
bye bye.
Bye bye.